What do you think about Anderson Silva finally ready to call it a career?
Man, he's a legend, man. It's a legend. We share one time. We trained before. I think it's great. Great to see that he's fighting again. And who knows? Maybe it's not his last fight. Maybe we throw a rematch in the future.
What up, Fightful fam? Shakiel Mahjouri here. And you know this man, he's the phenom of MMA, and The Undertaker should be afraid, because after making his pro wrestling debut, he might just be the phenom of pro wrestling as well. Vitor Belfort, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm here in the gym doing what I love, so it's amazing.
Well, and you know, the gym is a good sign, because hopefully it means there's a fight on the way. Before we get to your career and what's next for you, I texted you the other day, what is with Wanderlei Silva and all this nonsense, all this craziness about a poster and a fight at Mike Tyson Ranch? Did you see they misspelled your name? They put Vitor Belfort on there.
So it's so totally fake. They spelled my name wrong, so that's how fake it is. So we already reached out to him, so my agents, you got to come and fight at one. Chatty said okay, and you better start getting prepared because I'm right here on the grind. So we not have Wanderlei on the rising, but we have Holyfield, we have everyone on the aim. I'm aiming for all these legends, man. I'm looking for to bring something that never been done before, and it's time for, we do something different. That's what we are asking. People are asking right now.
Do you know what the holdup is with Wanderlei and one? Like, are they just not willing to negotiate, or what's happening?
It's hard, like I said. Yeah, what I learned, my dad taught me something. And you can only speak for yourself. Yes. Never speak on other behalf, because that's called fake news. That's what's been happening all over the world right now. So people are selling fake news as a real news, and as you know,
we talked about this in length last time.
America is a huge thing right now.
Yeah.
If you're left wing or right wing, both I know come from both sides, but more to the left than to the right.
So I'm just curious here, because you were initially supposed to fight Alain and Ngalani in your one debut. Is that still the plan, or could Wanderlei possibly take that? Like, do you know what your first fight will be?
People want to see legends fights. That's why they want to see. They want to see. I want them to do fights where people want to really see it. They really want to pay for it. You know what I mean? I don't want to put a fight that people don't want to pay for it.
Okay, so Alain and Ngalani is no longer happening.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Do we have a timeline at all for the debut? I know it's hard with the pandemic right now. Because Eddie Alvarez told me that they're looking at having one championship event in the United States. Have you heard that as well?
Yep, man. Okay. I'm telling you, man. You guys want to go to one event? It's like something I never been before, and UFC is a great event, but one is different, and that's what is cool. It's different.
Okay, so I imagine for you right now too, it would be easier if they held an event in the U.S. versus you having to travel to Southeast Asia.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who knows? Maybe in Canada.
Hey, I will be there if it's in Canada.
Yeah.
100%. Let's talk a little bit about everything else that's been going on in MMA. Anderson Silva, someone you know very well, is having his retirement fight on October 31st against Uriah Hall. What do you think about Anderson Silva finally ready to call it a career?
Man, he's a legend, man. It's a legend. We share one time. We trained before. I think it's great. Great to see that he's fighting again. And who knows? Maybe it's not his last fight. Maybe we throw a rematch in the future.
Hey,
maybe it will be a good fight. People were like, Dana would like to put that fight in with Chatri. So, one in UFC together, that would be cool.
That'd be awesome. And MMA retirement is not like a regular retirement. You can retire 4 or 5 times from MMA.
You know what I discovered? You retire. Retirement when you literally really go away and these guys they have a lot of and bringing back the legends. I think that's pretty cool.
This speaking of legends, this EA UFC 4 video game came out recently, and people were very confused about the roster. There's like a lot of fighters in the UFC who aren't in the game, and then you're still in the game, which is terrific. That's great news. Do you know how those rights work? Like, why is it that you, a one championship fighter, are still in a UFC video game?
I don't know, man. Like I don't know, man. But like I said, my history with UFC is such a great. My relationship with Dana, it's amazing. Dana did so good for the sport, and like I have a lot of great things to be thankful for what he did and what he still do, and like I said, chat is very grateful for him, and I think that's what it is. It's like I'm tired of people just bashing and looking for it. We all have flaws. We all do something wrong, but let's recognize, man, the guy did an amazing job, man. Nothing you can say about it. Like, let's talk about it. If it wasn't for him and Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta, man, we'd not be talking about MMA. These guys, they paved their way, and he's still doing a great job. Another day I was talking to Chatri, man. He said, man, I was impressed. He handled the events pretty well with this pandemic.
Incredibly, yeah.
So if I will have something, I don't say negative, but I'm very critical. I can be critical, but right now we gotta be thankful for what they're doing with the sport in the midst of the pandemic, student events, and I think it's fantastic. I think in the future we can see crossover. I can see crossover with ONE and UFC. I can see that happen. I can see a lot of things happen in the future. The crossover between boxers and MMA fighters in a unified rules. I call BMA, boxing martial arts.
Yeah.
It's so many things. Gotta happen. Things different. People are tired of every Friday, every Saturday, the same thing over and over and over, and they trying to build a hero. Listen, man, a hero is born. You cannot build. You can build robotics. And as you see, UFC doing a great job of building guys, but they don't survive. It's kind of like when it's organic, it's cool to see like Zingano. It's very organic. You see so many icons born from UFC, but some people are just being made, and they're not bad. But I mean, it's cool when it's organic. It's more authentic.
I agree.
And as Conor McGregor, and you name him, guys there, it's organic in a way that they paved the way. You know what I mean? They fought for. They have their personality. So when you try to mimic and try to become somebody else and become fake, so that's my point on this.
Yeah. Last time we talked, you mentioned wanting to sort of innovate and update MMA, and you talked about bringing footwear back, getting shoe sponsors and stuff. Is there any update on the possibility of you fighting with shoes on?
Yes, I think so.
It looks like it's happening?
I think so.
Okay, that's very, very cool.
I think that's happened. No doubt about it.
No doubt about it. There's been in the sports world, talk about fake news. Something that's really happening is a lot of sports teams have started, postponing games, walking out of games, NBA, MLB, over the shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin. You don't hear a lot of fighters speaking out or a lot of promotions speaking out about whatever issues may be important to them. In this case, Black Lives Matter. Why do you think it is we don't see a lot of fighters or promotions diving into politics?
I think it's this, man. Listen, I've been real with you, and the problem
Please.
with that, when we say about races, we say about slavery, when we're talking about, this group is bad, this group is good. Listen, slavery still exists. Sex traffic, human traffic. My sister's been missing since 2004. Just to let you know, human traffic, it's a huge thing, man. It's such a huge thing that no one is doing nothing about it. And we have Team Bellator. It's really a very vocal guy, left CIA to really fight for this cause. And and we're dealing with this right now, and it's been a huge issue with with uh, with this matter. And I think it's what we need to do is literally we really need to understand what is behind,
Hmm.
everything. What's behind? What's the meaning of who create that? Like example, a lot of people they're they're like in support of this. They don't even know who the founders and or who are the so you got to look for behind. So I always tell my kids before you go support something, what's the motive? What's the
Hmm.
true motive? I'm totally against races. You know what I mean? Like I totally against. I think it's a BS, man. But it still happen. People in China they're making shoes like Nike, Adidas. They
Yeah.
slavery. It's a Chinese slavery, but it's different than black slavery. So we need to think about when we consume things and know what's going on in the global, because we're living in a global world. We're not living in a small world. Like not me world. I call we world. We are we in a sense, like I call flipping of a letter. So when you flip the letter M becomes W, so become we. So we are
Hmm.
one now. They don't have borders in this case. So for me, everything matters, man. I come from Brazil. As you know, Brazil is a injustice place. It's a lot of corruption there, injustice, and I still dealing with that. My mom works in the with missing people, and that's a larger cause, human traffic. So
Yeah.
we are fighting for something right here, and we have just as the same cause over here. No one pay attention.
Hmm.
So we got to put this behind, man. That doesn't exist this anymore. And I think we're making a big thing, and the media is just monetizing. So, Black Lives Matter, of course. Black Lives Matter, Spanish lives matter, Chinese lives matter. But we got to be more concerned what's happened before. You know, they suffer a lot, man. My friends, I have black people in my family. They suffer a lot, and it was so unjust what's happened with them. But we cannot bring that behind and start creating and say, okay, because you did that to me, I'm gonna do this to you.
Hmm.
So we gotta thinking about violence is not the cause. Being violent, it's just do as bad as the other people did. And we have, Nelson Mandela. I like to go back. So Nelson Mandela was a guy that if he were alive now, what will be his support? His support, he's looking for a solution and not chaos. So right now I see a lot of chaos. I see a lot of disrespect from people that doesn't understand the cause. So I think in fighting, these guys they don't exist. It doesn't exist this the races and things. Of course, it's a it's a very it's a very sensitive cause because
Hmm.
it's real, man. I didn't like that image, man. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I think he's got to have a punishment,
Yeah.
real punishment for these cops that are doing this with black people. You got to have a very, very tough punishment. I mean, very much. It's like so, even like maybe death penalty because this is illegal, man. This is an act of force, but not every cop is bad.
Yeah.
Now we cannot just try to make an extreme. So we gotta filter. We gotta be a filter, and creating chaos is just gonna feed the flame. And when people go in and doing like a good protest, healthy protest, I support.
Yeah.
But when they start doing this vandalism and these criminals, they're really criminals. So we gotta be careful. We really
I
gotta be careful.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the sentiment that like these issues are very nuanced and you have to look at things objectively. Vitor, as we start wrapping up, first I want to apologize. I didn't know about your sister. So I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So listen, man. I've been fighting so much for this. I'm doing my institution, the Belfort Foundation. I'm gonna be supporting, man. Human trafficking is an industry of $200 billion. $200 billion. People in slavery, sex traffic, You know, like it's these kids been selling. They've been selling by $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. That's insane, man. We got to stop that.
Would you?
Someone is really, really doing something really bad. So that's my fight. That's my cause. And my protest is this: let's stop being so political, so
Mhm.
left, right, wrong. You know, what we need is united. We need united, and being united, you know, we don't need to agree in many factors, but we gotta respect, love, forgive, and fighting for justice. That's all.
Would you be willing, and we don't have to, but would you be willing to share what happened with your sister?
We don't know. You know,
You know?
like some people, my mom thinks she's in sex traffic still. I think she was brutally murdered by these people that live in the slum in Brazil. They're killer. They're evil people, man. And I mean, they have evil people everywhere, but it's insane. They burn people alive, and because they like it. They like to torture. They put them on tires and burn them so no one can find the thieves. So no one get missing, man. In the world today with technology, no one can be missing.
Yeah.
I'm called, it's a crime. They have a crime going on over there. We need to wake up. Human trafficking is serious, and you gotta be real. They're selling kids. They're putting women in sex trafficking, and guess what? People are supporting pornography. They're doing something bad, and when you evolve in this on this BS, you know, like you're totally involved and we gotta find out that this is what we should be fighting for, not, you know, in this politics right now.
Well, Vitor, I want to thank you so much for sharing that with me. I know I was actually having a conversation with Brandon Vera about sex trafficking as well, so it seems like it's something that the One Championship fighters are very
And
in support of.
my mom right now, today they open up a support for the families, because the kids get disappeared, but the families suffer.
Yeah.
And they lose their kids for human traffic. You know, human traffic is serious, man. I have this in my family, and I know the pain to call your mom and your dad, and they don't know what their daughter is. So it's a pain that you have to bury your relatives every day. And how to live without God, man, I promise you I will not be here.
Vitor, last thing for you, just to end this on a bit of an inspirational note. I find you as a person so fascinating because you spend most of your career before the big boom of MMA and modern pop culture, but you have such big social media followings. I see you interacting with Mike Tyson and Tony Khan and Dave Bautista. For you, if you'd be willing to share, what are some of your keys to sort of networking and navigating in the worlds of business and entertainment?
Man, you know the key gotta be you, man. We live in
Yeah.
a very fake world right now. You know, like another day my son was here in the gym, and one of the mothers said, "Hey, my son is an influencer," and my son was very natural. Say, "Influencer of what? What he does?" And he said, "No, he's just an influencer. He makes a lot of money." And my son, "Okay, but what is its industry? You know, what he comes from nowhere." So people right now, they have virtual friends, virtual, everything's virtual. They never did anything. Now they are speakers. How? They come from where? What they speak? They speak engagement where? They become a motivational speaker. What they overcome with their own motivation. So whatever you say to somebody else, gotta work first on you. I say the meds that I sell works on me. So everything that I preach, everything that I communicate, I do on myself.
Yeah.
So my networking is who I am, and like it or not, man, people respect me. I'm very authentic. I'm very real. If you Google me, you're gonna know what I did, what I do, what I'm willing to do. So I said, if you don't know where you're going, how can you take somebody else in your journey with you? And if you are creating content, that's a big thing today, content. But you create content, but what? You're just an influencer from nowhere? You gotta find a niche, man. You gotta find, like, I did this. So for me, to take someone to war with me, if I'm gonna go to war, I would like to take warriors that be in Vietnam, someone that really experienced war.
Yeah.
I cannot take someone to war with me that never shoot up a gun. You know what I mean? But they say they know how to handle the gun. Like I said, a Hollywood artist can be a Navy SEAL. But when you throw at Hollywood in the reality, he will poop on his pants, man. So I only walk, I like to have a relationship, authentic relationship, and move forward, with passion.
Vitor, it's always a learning experience. It's always super fascinating to talk to you. I want to thank you so much for making the time with me. And yeah, just wishing you the best.
Hey, my Canadian brother, you're going to be a superstar. Don't forget about me, okay?
You keep saying this. I don't think it's possible to forget about Vitor Belfort.
It's going to happen, man. Believe it. I know you put in the work, man. I know it's not easy for you, but you're going to make it. And when you make it, you really deserve it.
I appreciate that, Vitor. You take good care, and I'll see you soon, okay?
Here's the V. You see the V here?
There's the future part 2.
Yeah, this is the future quarterback.
The quarterback. Oh, yes, you were telling me last time we talked.
Yeah, the V is a quarterback, #1 here in Florida.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Google him, at Davey Belfort, guys. You guys going to see a real grinder.
100%. The Belfort legacy continues. Strong, deep roots.
Never stop.
Never stop. Vitor, I'll talk to you soon, my man. Thank you so much.